Good afternoon, everyone. Please have a seat because we're going to start the next session. The first session of today. Thank you for joining the discussion on perspective on national and regional tourism organizations. My name is Hugo de Jong. I'm the co-founder and head of destination certification at Green Destinations. And I have the pleasure to host this session packed with inspiring leaders from the countries of Estonia, Slovenia, Finland, Austria, and the Baltic Sea region. They will unveil their strategies and actions to push their respective tourism sectors forward on the path to sustainability, catalyzing transformation and propelling initiatives far and beyond. They have adopted an approach that goes beyond the ad hoc projects for greening destinations or businesses, but developed or are developing still a comprehensive program or scheme with the goal that visitors can enjoy a fully green holiday with sustainable transport, responsible activities, stay in certified accommodations, and in green destinations. This panel will first present these approaches in their respective countries, and then we will discuss the opportunities and challenges they have experienced to implement the programs. Our first presenter will be Liisa Kokkarinen, the head of sustainable development at Visit Finland, who emphasizes the critical need for investments in climate action and sustainable tourism. Liisa will unveil the Sustainable Travel Finland initiative, showcasing how collaboration between public and private sectors is fundamental in addressing the diverse dimensions of sustainability within Finland's tourism landscape. Over to you, Liisa. Please come up.
Thank you, Hugo. Yesterday we saw the mayor of Helsinki in this very same stage, and he was sharing his love and passion for Estonia and Tallinn. He was really talking from his heart, but he could have as well been spoken on behalf of all of us in Finland. Estonia really is our sister nation, so it's wonderful to be here, and I'm very happy that this event is taking place in this very city. But surprisingly, I'm not here to talk about Estonia, but I will take us just a little bit to north and tell you something about sustainable tourism development in Finland. So first of all, you may well be aware of it, that Finland has a highly ambitious goal to be carbon neutral by 2035. That's not far away in the future. That's in next decade. We have a little bit more than 10 years' time to reach this really, truly ambitious goal. And this really means that everyone, every citizen, every business, any stakeholder, any industry in Finland really has a role to play to achieve this goal and ensure that Finland is a socially, economically, and ecologically sustainable society. So in 2020, we launched our national sustainable development program called Sustainable Travel Finland. This program was not launched only to support the governmental program, but really the pressure came from all sides. So we have the tourism businesses who were saying that we need a systematic approach to develop more sustainable tourism. We had the citizens saying that, hey, tourism is growing industry. We want also to be heard in terms of tourism development. We had tour operators saying that they need a tool to identify those sustainable partners. And there was also the visitors. And a lot of visitors, when they come to Finland, they already have high expectations when it comes to sustainability, because they do understand that Finland is, in international comparisons, often referred as one of the most sustainable countries. So we really need to kind of respond to that demand as well. And indeed, in 2020, the program was launched, and it was a very clear message from the tourism industry in Finland that the program needs to be educational. So it's not just a set of criteria that you need to meet, but it needs to be educational, because oftentimes the awareness already leads to action. And it also needs to be brought to Finnish context. And it also needs to be inclusive. So it's a common path for all stakeholders in Finland. So it means that it's the destinations, it's the tourism businesses, but it's also those that support the industry. So for instance, educational institutions. And for instance, in the tourism industry, we have such a different players. Yesterday, we saw here on the stage the 3 ferry lines that go between Helsinki and Tallinn. So the Tallinn-Silja line, Viking line, and Eckerö line. And we also saw here the port of Helsinki. All of these have Sustainable Travel Finland label, so they are walking the same path with us. So it's not just traditional tourism businesses like hotels, for example. And for example, the role of educational institutions. We need green skills. We need people to work in this industry that know sustainable development by heart. And that's why we need to collaborate with educational institutions to ensure that the students that they feed to the market have these skills. Today, I will be mainly talking about the sustainable tourism indicators. So how do we actually measure the impact of the program? Those tourism businesses and destinations that walk this entire path step by step and meet all the criteria, in the end, they will be awarded with the Sustainable Travel Finland label. And for us, that really is the tool how we can communicate and identify those that take sustainability seriously. But at the same time, for the travelers or tour operators, it is really that symbol that when they choose somebody with Sustainable Travel Finland label, they know that their holiday also have a profoundly positive impact to the community and environment. As of today, we have 5 destinations that have the Sustainable Travel Finland label, 367 companies who create in total over 1,000 experiences all around Finland. But that's not only measure, that's how we measure the impact. Within the program, we have built a sustainable tourism indicator system that aligns with many known international standards, such as Sustainable Development Goals or GSDC, or for example, European Tourism Commission's indicator system. And as we all probably know, that there is like this tsunami of sustainability reporting coming in a few years' time, and more tourism businesses need to be involved in the sustainability reporting. So in this way, when we are making this system to correspond many other schemes, it will be easier for the tourism businesses also to report about their sustainability actions. The system is, of course, multidimensional. It's agile, so we have to be able to respond to the changing demand in the industry. Because we want everything to be really transparent. We want data to be comparable. So we are currently already reporting on the business level and a greater region. We have 4 touristic regions in Finland, as well as in a national level. Destination level reporting is coming soon, as well as our reporting system is being developed. We also last year, or actually this year, based on the last year data, we published our first Data Sustainable Tourism in Finland report, which will be the annual analysis of the state of sustainable tourism in Finland. Just one very practical example that how it works, because we have so many different data sources, but then we also had data that there simply wasn't data available. It was not collected. So we needed to create a system. So for example, European tourism indicator systems such as that the good indicator would be to calculate the percentage of tourism companies that take active measurements towards protecting the biodiversity, the local biodiversity. We were thinking that this is immensely important indicator, especially since we have so much focus on climate action. But how in Earth can we measure? How can we say that the percentage of the businesses are actually engaged in the biodiversity protection? So we set up a steering group, kind of like a group of advisors who then analyze what are those actions already in use in the tourism industry. And what are those actions that could easily be adapted by the tourism businesses? And we came up with a list of 14 available measures. And our definition was that if a tourism business has 2 measures in use, they have active support for the local biodiversity. We were not ambitious enough because results were showing to us that on average businesses already have 5 actions in use. Many of them had no idea that that's biodiversity protection. They were doing that because it's the right thing to do simply. And in this way, then, we got the result that we can say that, okay, 67% of the businesses engaged in the Sustainable Travel Finland program are actively supporting, conserving or managing the local biodiversity. And this is actually a copy, screenshot from our report, which is a public report as well, at how you can also kind of like compare it with the greater touristic regions. And businesses also have their personal data that they can compare them to the national averages. And this is then how it starts to look today, that how is the success of tourism or the state of tourism in Finland measured. It's a very different data from what we have used to seeing that, for example, the occupancy rates at the hotels or the number of arrivals by plane or ferries. This is not all the results, but this is a summary of some. And importantly, there is also the stakeholder satisfaction. So how happy are those stakeholders just as the local citizens? We are all local citizens in the places we live. How happy we are with the tourism development in the places we live. Or how happy are the visitors who visit our places, especially if you promote that your destination or business is sustainable. Your visitors will have higher expectations for you, and you need to meet those expectations. There are many lessons that we learned from this data, but I will share with one important lesson. We learned that 25% of the travelers that participated in our national survey had selected that specific destination in Finland due to their efforts towards sustainability. At the same time, Booking.com is saying that it's around 70% that travelers are aiming to choose more sustainably. If we ask the same questions from Expedia or any other larger online travel agencies, they are telling the same story. So what we learn that there is a remarkable gap between the intention and action. If 25% says actually chose the place and 70 or 80% are saying that they will choose. So we really don't have time to wait for the consumers to make wise, sustainable choices and at the same time offer them something else. Sustainable tourism really should be the default option. It should not be the alternative that you can find if you really seek. And in this way, I want to come back to those original statistics that we have those more than 1,000 sustainable experiences in Finland. So what we have done, we are actually nudging the tourists towards them. We prioritizing them in all our promotional material, in all our marketing as much as we can. And this way, we can ensure from our side that we are ending the era where tourism is just minimizing the negative impact, and we are actually entering the era where we really should be in the era of regeneration. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Liisa, for giving us some insight in the approach of Visit Finland, focusing on education and indicators.